favorite time of the day, guys. It is time for Side Dish. You know what it is. We're more than an appetizer when it comes to pop culture and fun. We're the whole meal. At least you got some of the whole meal right here. Claudia Jordan's with us in spirit. My man HK is in, though.
Yo, man, happy 48-hour Friday to everybody that's out there. We on the second half of that. Hope everything is going fair in your square to commemorate. I even wore a Friday the 13th hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Just to
very
represent.
nice. I see. Oh, wait.
So people know
my
what
gosh.
day it
I
is.
didn't even... Yeah, well, it's not Friday the 13th, but it's Friday.
It's just a Friday. This was the time he took Manhattan. And we
he took off the mask and scared the punks on the street.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, there's so many forgettable aspects about that film. But the Muppets did a better job taking Manhattan. But that's another conversation for a completely different day. Man, how's your day rocking so far, bro?
Good. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm going to get up to North Georgia just for the rest of the day and a little bit of tomorrow morning, taking a little cabin trip with some friends, and then just enjoying this beautiful weather we're having in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's like the summer refuses to go back into its hole, and I like it. I like it.
What are you up to? What are you getting into?
So I'm teaching a freestyle improv course at Dad's Garage. It's this popular place in Atlanta. So like, yo, if you're going to be in the Atlanta area Saturday, you got nothing going on, there's that. Then right after that, I'm going to go like run out of there. Then I'm going to go rap for real at some place. I think it's I don't want to say it's Atlanta, Tucky, but it might be Atlanta, Tucky. My guy, Senor Chaos, is having like a show, and I got a song with him, and I'm excited because, like, you know, we ain't performed together in a long time, so I'm going to do my verse off there, you know what I mean? It's going to be a vibe, man. So bunch of rapidy rap things, you know what I'm saying?
Every time I talk to HK, all I think is I need to work harder. This man never stops working. He never clocks out. Do you sleep?
Yeah, I do. Like, it'd be like one of them things where, like, I'm gonna sit down and watch some TV. Yeah, like that's exactly how it happens. You know what I mean? Like every time, man. So, you know, grind hard, my friends, grind hard. Well, one person that's been grinding for a long time is Joe Budden, and his podcast has gone viral again. So Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, an internet comedian, and I say that in air quotes because I didn't know he does stand-up, but Queenzflip, he's a part of the Joe Budden podcast, and they recently got into an argument on the pod about pay cuts for co-hosts. Take a look.
Anything that I'm saying, I won't. So if you allude to it, because you say a lot of tricky words.
No, I don't. So I say regular words that's tricky to you.
Tricky words. You try to win favors.
You mean like fan engagement?
You try to win favors. All right. Even if you do win favors, you try to point out everything else that nobody do. That's sucker to me.
Don't call me a sucker no more. 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 Don't call me a sucker no more.
That's sucker. I'm saying that's sucker shit. You not a sucker.
Let's both calm down. No.
Stop doing that.
No, I'm saying let's both calm down. Let's both calm down. Because I'm telling you right now, the way you talking to me, I'm taking a different way. So let's both calm down.
What does that mean, though?
I take that as disrespectful. And I take that as to me. So I'm trying to tell you.
But there's a lot of you said it.
No, Imani, I'm not potting.
Stresses me out. Well, Mark saying I say regular words that are tricky for you highlighted something that fans have long thought, that Mark might be a little too intellectual for the podcast, which I feel like you can never have too many intellectuals in a place of open dialogue and conversation, because you do need somebody to help balance the tires.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's interesting because, like, my understanding of how this started is they were talking about like potential pay cuts for co-hosts, and I don't even know how serious they got into that. But then it turned into Queenzflip coming after Marcus, because Marcus, like, Mark said he wasn't gonna take a pay cut. Like, I'm not exactly 100% about how we got into it, but then I feel like we had some real insecurities start to flare up, and I kind of feel like they were on the bit of Queenzflip, because the whole thing about taking a shot at somebody, saying they, like, you use tricky words, that is your insecurity speaking right there in that moment.
Well, you know, if I could picture frame it a little bit better too, like most conversations that you will see Queenzflip have will be in all caps, bold, italics with exclamation marks. Like, his energy is always higher than what's necessary. So some people who are familiar with Queenzflip's content would probably be like, he's not even having an argument. This is him just talking. Because, you know, there's like videos of him walking down the street, flipping tables over and like wilding out on people and things like that. And some of it is in a skit space, but some of it is also part of the, I guess, the act that is Queenzflip or whatever. But it definitely seemed like in real time, Marc Lamont Hill was about that action. because you can't really get loud with everybody. Like every now and then you're gonna hit a wall, and they'd be like, "Yo, I'm not for the shenanigans."
It's interesting because like Dr. Marc Lamont Hill has been a political commentator. Like he's shown up on like Fox and other networks for 20 years now. And so the idea that somebody would come at him over his vernacular, over his dialogue is kind of crazy, because this is 20 years now that this man has shown up and spoken very intellectually with a lot of authority because of his education and his background on various topics. And so like, I would think you would absolutely want somebody like him sitting on your panel. Now, you don't want 4 or 5 of the same guys. You certainly don't. Like, you need that other perspective. But at the same time, like, I just don't understand the need to take jabs at each other. And my understanding is this was also a like one of the clips went viral, but this was actually from their Patreon. Like, you had to be a subscriber to see the full argument, which I did get to see earlier today. It was kind of wild.
I mean, they're masters when it comes to clip manipulation and putting the stuff out there to get people talking, because there's always some type of just conversation, you know, because they recycle people, or cycle through rather, people on the podcast a lot. They just got my homegirl Mona on there. Don't call me white girl. She real funny. She on IG. She has a podcast on the I think it's called not Backbreaker. Breakbeat or Breakbeat Media, and she's hilarious, and I thought she was a great, well-needed, you know, add-on to that scenario as well. But you know, at the end of the day, man, like, don't get your tuxedo dirty just because you decided to walk through the junkyard. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, here's what I would ask back is like, because he's got that prefix, because he's got doctor, and he's got a little pedigree with some of the places that he is, you know, been paid to speak on. I mean, he spoke in front of the United Nations, if I remember correctly. Does that mean that he can't ever take offense at anything that anybody says?
I mean, I think everybody has the right to be, you know, to speak their opinion when they feel like somebody's coming at them sideways. But then also, too, you got to, like, not necessarily be so stuck in, you know, where you at, to where, like, you don't. I try to look at all sides of the story before I escalate things, because sometimes we could escalate things that weren't even really intended to be escalatable. And anytime Queenzflip is involved, it seems like things are already kind of at a heightened state, because that's the energy he brings. That's why they bought him. They didn't bring him because he's calm. They bought him because he's a table shaker. You know what I mean? Yeah. They know that the people go and talk. They probably right now eating a hot dog, not the same one, but they probably do it. They probably somewhere chilling right now. Like, they're playing the game. We're talking. Congratulations. You did it.
Yeah. True story. True story. We don't really have a provocateur. Like, we had Gary on Dish, but other than that, we're kind of easygoing.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I used to watch my parents fight. I don't like to see rooms in disarray. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to be a peacekeeper, if anything. You know what I mean? But if it gotta happen, it gotta happen, and usually cooler heads prevail. So there's that.
True story. Yeah. And probably most press the Budden podcast is getting this year. So good for them in one way. This story, we've been covering this for a while now, talking about Wendy Williams and her conservatorship. So not too long ago, her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, lost his bid to get control of the conservatorship and $250 million, that's $250 million in compensatory damages. So when you think about her history, that's clearly a win for Wendy. She doesn't look great here. But what's more interesting is that Wendy just now found out what she's actually paying for rent. When she read a feature that New York Magazine did on her, Wendy thought she was paying $18,000 in rent for a studio. Now, it's important to keep in mind that it's in one of these like health facilities, and she gets attention. Those places are really expensive. But in reality, she's paying $25,000 for rent. So what is that? A difference of $7,000. She's not really privy to what her Uber and taxi fees are when they let her out and she's able to travel on her own to go to dinner and stuff. And she allegedly receives an allowance of like $200 to $300 a week that she uses to buy her own little things like Twizzlers, magazines, little things that she wants.
I eat that much Twizzlers too, so I understand.
I love them.
I definitely understand. And and the thing about not knowing how much you pay for the facility, like, you would think someone would tell you that, because like, what happens when you run out of money and you can't afford that $25,000 a month? Does that mean you're out of the conservatorship? How does this work?
Well, the thing it's interesting to me is like, and again, I say this as someone whose grandparents had power of attorney signed off to their children, and they wouldn't know how to ask exactly what they were paying in rent. And so there's two ways to look at this story, and one is that if you're very optimistic about Wendy's state of mind, you could go with the route that they outright lied to Wendy. That's certainly an option, is that Wendy is being misled purposefully, that there is intention behind that. The other option is that if Wendy's mental health, mental state, if it's not there to such a degree that she would get to the bottom of her rental situation the same way she might get to the bottom of a piece of news or a piece of gossip, that it could be on her. And so I'm not saying one way or another. It's been a minute since we've heard from Wendy, but I'm one of those people who it's like, I directly know people who are in these situations, and this is something that they would have a very big misunderstanding of, but it's also because they need to be in that situation.
Yeah, because even with the person who's over her stuff, Sabrina Morrissey, from what I understand, she does get paid to do her job from Wendy's budget, and Wendy doesn't want her to do that job that she's doing. I just hate all of it. You know what I mean? And I know some people who have been in contact with Wendy, and I think they're loosening some of the ropes a little bit. But like when you don't have the earning potential that you had before because they're not allowing you to work and they running the bill up, you should be able to make some decisions to save yourself and put yourself in a better space.
Yeah, it's tricky. I hope we get to find out that she's capable of making these decisions. Like I'm just always cautious about it, because I've sat on the inside of it for different family things, where on the outside, you only get so many looks at somebody. You only see someone through a video for 10, 15 minutes total as of the 24 hours in a day. And sometimes it's hard to know what's happening the other 23 and 3/4 hours a day. So
yeah,
it's hard to say.
during the dark periods. I mean, because there's so much there for her to possibly do, at her own will and and well-being, right? Like she could fire up IG Live and people would donate and and do whatever they got to do just to be able to have that Wendy energy. You know what I mean? Because I think at this point we want our Wendy fix in any way that we can get it. Because it's been a long time, and and if she has the mental fortitude to do it, I think that would be a good little soft launch to see if it could potentially be a thing. Because I remember when we interviewed her a while back, back still on radio, she said she wanted to like not only do a podcast but also start a school for people who wanted to learn what she does.
Sure.
And even if she did virtual classes for people, assuming that she can, handle it, like, man, that's a great source of income from her, because people would pay good money to learn from the GOAT. So,
absolutely.
Absolutely. So we're rooting for you, Wendy. Hang in there, sis.
Still rooting for you, Wendy. Hope you're doing well. Sending you all our best wishes. Oh boy, this weekend, white people news, K-Fed. Britney Spears' ex-husband, K-Fed, he's got a book out, because, listen, there's nothing we all wanted more than a book from K-Fed. The name of the book is You Thought You Knew, and of course, in the book, he's talking about Britney, and he talks about the custody battle over their two sons, Sean and Preston, who are now 20 and 19. So Kevin makes an interesting and somewhat shocking claim in the book, and he says, quote, the boys, they would awaken sometimes at night to find her standing silently in the doorway, watching them sleep. Sounds like a loving mother. And then one of the boys might say, "Oh, you're awake," and it would be her with a knife in her hand. Then she'd turn around and pad off without explanation. We got a video. So there we go. There she is with knives. So
if I saw my mom in the archway doing that, I would call CPS on her myself.
Yeah, so K-Fed said this happened more than once, said this happened a couple times. He even added that he still fears for her safety, especially since she has been released from her conservatorship. Dude, HK, years ago, I was in West Hollywood standing outside of one of the courts during a Free Britney protest. This was at the very beginning of it. And
I didn't know you was a fan like that.
Well, no, I wasn't. I shouldn't say it like I was a fan, but it was I was working for a show and they wanted me to go do it. So that's what I went and did. And there were so many people who so fiercely were in the, like, she's being taken advantage of camp and let her spend her money. And like, and yes, okay, maybe those things would be a little bit true. But like, when you look at her dancing with the knives and when the rest of this book comes out, it's out now. When the rest of this book, people rifle through it and they're like, you know what? She was always doing a bunch of weird things with knives. And like, a lot of her decisions have been really, really suspect. Like, is there a line for the weirdness, which we would come back around and say, maybe she did need to be in there?
Oh, I was a big advocate of that the whole time. Like, I'm like, you sure you want to let this girl not have like supervised people watching her? Like, every time I saw her dance with those knives, I was afraid she was going to cut a nipple off. Yeah. And what my man Kevin just described in that book reminds me of a scene from Paranormal Activity. Don't know if you've seen the first two, but there was a point where like the lady, I think her name was Katie, she would just be standing in the doorway. They would like show the time-lapse footage of her just standing in front of the bed. That sounds like what Britney was. Y'all broke her. Y'all broke Britney. Y'all wanted Jive Records. Ooh, you wanted that money so damn much that you threw her out there and you made her do all the things that y'all make stars do when you need them to make money for your company, where all she probably wanted to do was be in color guard. And now she's hitting unpause on that part of her life and she's doing the things. Because did she graduate high school or was she one of them homeschool kids who just like get out there and make money?
So I know she was a Mouseketeer. So I think she was one of those homeschool kids. She was a part of the Mickey Mouse. What do they call the Mickey Mouse Club?
Mickey Mouse Club, yeah, Mouseketeer. Yeah.
She was in the Mickey Mouse Club, and then like I think got out of that, and then Hit Me Baby One More Time like came out of nowhere, and she's one of the biggest stars in the world by like 98, 99.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, when you see the bankability in people, you got to strike while the iron's hot, and I understand that component. Yeah. But you can't apply so much pressure on these people to the point to where they're not allowed to mature and grow and experience certain things. And you could push people to the point. It's almost like a racehorse. They will drug a racehorse until the horse can't run no more. Horse broke.
Yeah.
You'll get 2 Rihanna albums before you get one more Britney album.
Oh, you'll never get another. Yeah, I mean, you might get a Britney album, but it might not sound like what you think it should sound like.
Hit Me Baby, the remixes or things that was left over from those sessions all the way going through Toxic. Like, man, y'all did this. Look at you.
Yep.
Anyway, we gotta go to break. Shout out to everybody in the chat pulling up on us on a Friday. And coming up, man, we gotta talk about some things that got us running to the comments, man. See y'all in 2. Welcome back to Side Dish. Now, during Kirk Franklin's Den of Kings podcast, actor and comedian Kev on stage got emotional when discussing the last time he spoke with his brother, who sadly passed away unexpectedly last year. Now, as Kev got in his feelings talk about the events leading up to his brother's passing, Ray J crosses the room to comfort him in a way that only Ray J can. Take a look.
This is the last time he was alive. I'm talking to him the night before. We make the New York Times bestseller. Look, thank you, Ray J. So it's the highest high. Like that day is.
What?
So we took the express lane to the comments, and as usual, they did not disappoint. With one person saying, "Slap the sadness right out of him. Thank you, Ray J." And another said, "He's crying from the story," and that hit. Well, if you emphatically said it, he's crying from the story, and that hit. Now, one user said, "I'm hollering because why did he smack him back like he was choking on a fishbone?" And even Kev on stage commented saying, "Thank you, Ray J. He patted my back hard as crap, though." Laughing emojis.
Why is Ray J? You can't Heimlich an emotion. let Kev on stage. Let him have that. Why? He's telling a very emotional story about his brother, and Ray J got out of there just giving him pats like it was a good game. My favorite though. Thank you, Ray J. With the handshake and everything.
Yo,
oh my gosh.
Ray J, like there's a part of me that feel like he know what he doing most of the time, and like he's just so unserious. But then every now and then he's serious, and I am having an increased difficulty in deciding where the line is.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know their relationship. Let me back up. Let me back all the way up. I don't know if Kev on stage and Ray J got each other's cell phones. I don't know if they're in group chats together. I don't know if like Ray J's like, "Hey Kev, I'm having a tough day. Can I talk to you for a couple minutes?" Like they might have that kind of tight relationship. And in that case, this makes perfect sense. But if they don't have each other's phone numbers, this is kind of a weird thing for Ray J to do. Like, just to get up and go pat another man on his back while he's telling a sincere story about the last time he saw his brother and talking about the success that he's had. But it makes me think the way that Kevin reacted with the handshake and the thank you, Ray J. You know, like that was like they don't know each other. That's not how you talk to your friend.
Yeah, I don't think that was Kevin on stage's one wish, but I do think that I don't know. In this scenario, I do feel like Ray J was trying to be helpful, but there's certain situations where you don't know how you can help. Like there's nothing we could do. Like let's just say if the shoe was on the other foot, if you were crying, right? Like you was telling a story, you got emotional. How can I support you as a friend?
Oh, well, but you and I are real friends though. Like
Okay.
if I was somewhere and if I was in the middle of something and I was struggling, like I feel like you're also a dad. And so you have been there and you know in your bones how to be that person. I would imagine it's like it begins like a lot of men. Sometimes it's like the hand on the shoulder and the slight squeeze and like, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. It's okay. He loved you, one of those like kind of sincere things. I feel like that's the kind of energy you would bring. And I feel like that's the correct energy. I don't know. And here's the thing that's tough for Ray J. Here's the thing where Ray J's in a tough spot. If that was a nobody, we might not have thought another thing about it. But Ray J is so famous that it almost makes Kev's moment about Ray J.
Oh, clearly, because we definitely mentioned Ray J's name probably about 24% more than we mentioned Kev's in the scenario.
Yeah.
I actually forgot why he was. Oh, yeah, his brother.
Yeah, his brother. Yeah, talking about the last time he talked to his brother. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things you damned if you do, damned if you don't. But yeah, if Kev was a nobody and Ray J did that, I don't think no one would have cared as much. But I think probably most of the smoke are coming from people who are hardcore Kev on stage fans.
Yeah.
Versus people who like was just watching a moment and felt like Ray J was wrong in said moment. But man, he knocked a kidney loose the way he patted him on the back.
Could we run that video back? I want people to just pay attention to the depth of the emotion that Kevin is in as he's doing this. Watch Kev on. He is so serious. Can we play that back? Can we do it? Here it comes. Like, watch his face, his tone of voice. He's about to. He doesn't know what to do right there. I think he acknowledged Ray J and shook his hand so he would get out of there. That's what I think. You did it. Okay, see you later. That's what I think he's doing.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Ray J.
I expected the dude with the handkerchief that was next to him to be a little, to like offer condolences or like, some support earlier, because you already have towelry on you. All you had to do is just undo your little Fred Flintstone thing, not Fred Flintstone, but from Scooby Doo, his ascot. All you had to do is undo the ascot, hand it over there. You good, bro?
Yeah. I am here for you. I'm right here. It's just a hand. Just a hand will do it. Okay, got to move on. Listen, LeBron, one thing he doesn't play about is his accountants. He doesn't like people playing with his money. He made it clear that he does not play when it comes to his money during an episode of his wife Savannah's Everybody's Crazy podcast. The GOAT shared the blunt message he gave his financial advisor from day one, saying the first thing I told him when he wanted to manage my money was, if you steal my money, bro, or if I'm broke, it ain't going to be good for you.
That's what's up.
Yeah, threaten the
I
money,
felt
man.
that. I felt that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to lay things down sometimes and let people know that, it's not a game out here, because when you make a certain amount of money, it is easy for people to steal said money.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to notice it as quickly if you got LeBron James Space Jam 2 money versus, LeBron Johnson, from Cleveland or, or someplace like that, like they're going to be lost in the sauce,
It's also one of those things where like listen, LeBron James has been very wealthy for a very long time, and you need to get the recommendations of the extremely wealthy around you. And I think sometimes it's even a good idea if the people you get those recommendations from aren't doing the same things that you're doing. You got to find people in other industries, maybe even boring ones when it comes to money. That way they got a boring money man. Like, you don't want the most risky money man you can find.
Yeah, I don't want you taking the same trips I'm taking.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't want you to feel as famous as I am. Now, LeBron did explain that, growing up in the projects of Akron, Ohio, and not having much made it hard for him to trust people, especially with finances. And, we see it all the time. There was a story that came out recently with Nicki Minaj where, there was somebody who was running up her credit cards. And, because you Nicki Minaj, you think, you're not going to miss that money. But every now and then, people start putting magnifying glasses to things, and it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, whatever you do, do not hire accountants with fancy cars, fancy watches, exciting vacations, really hot wives, or really hot husbands. You want a boring accountant.
Yeah, how do you feel like you are with money? Like, were you one of the people, based on how you grew up, you was a little bit more scrutinous with it? Or, once, you felt like you was in a comfortable place, it's like, hey...
I was comfortable growing up. But that was also living in a very, very, very inexpensive part of the country. I was stone cold broke for the largest portion of my 20s. I'm talking about I had an apartment that was in fact a large janitor's closet. And some months I didn't know how I was going to pay that rent the next month. I went to bed hungry. I never had to sleep in my car, but I was never more than 5 weeks away from it for a very significant portion of when I was starting out. And that changed my perspective a lot on money. I have an accountant. I became a corporation. Listen, I'm a businessman, but I'm also a businessman, to quote. And so I think you have to think about it a lot. And I don't think people finance isn't taught the way that it should be taught in school. I don't know. That's just me. I can get on a soapbox about it real quick.
Yeah, we be talking about algebra, trigonometry, and all these other things, but I feel like money management is a lot more important for, the youth them today than some of these other things that they put so much time and energy on, because, listen, we all want to touch some money at some point in our life, right?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. All right, so moving right on along. Listen, this is one I'm not really sure how I feel about, because Willow Smith says asking for a date is old school. It's over. Now, all right, we all know that Jada and Will, they listen, they clearly have a non-traditional relationship, non-traditional marriage, but they've also raised their kids to be very non-traditional from fashions, perspectives. Well, Jaden and Willow march to the beat of their own drum. Today, the drum major in question is Willow Smith. She took to her IG story to share her thoughts on the concept of asking somebody out on a date.
Am I just delusional, or people asking other people out on dates is kind of like old school? Like, the last time, I don't even remember the last time someone was like, hey, would you want to go on a date with me? Like, I'm gonna start saying it again. Okay, yeah, people still hang out in a romantic way, obviously, but like, to explicitly ask someone out on a date and use those specific words, especially someone that you don't really know that well, like, that's like a different kind of thing. Like, would you want to go out on a date with me? Like, when was the last time someone asked you that?
That was my favorite quote of all time, that one she wrote right there. I mean, we can chalk this up to where, like, you know, her and her brother and the rest of the family live on, you know, Planet Red Table, and none of the rules that apply in that house apply to the rest of the real world. Also, part of a generation that doesn't know how to communicate as well as the generation that preceded it. Y'all are active in the things that y'all are active in, but I think the communication skills is kind of lost, in the way that people operate is a little bit different than what our generation and the people maybe one generation after, one before, operate. You let us know in the chat how y'all moving on it.
Hey, it's weird though, because in some ways I get what she's saying, because like rarely do I use the word date, the D word. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's been like, hey, would you like to grab a drink sometime? Would you like to go grab a cocktail? Hey, I'm going to this concert. Do you want to come with me? And it's sort of implied. And I feel like that's kind of what she's talking about. There's also two other things real quick that I want to try to get in here. One, she's 24 years old and she's very attractive. Willow Smith is intimidating to men her age, and then you add
That's not even
on
her target audience. Right
it
now.
was that's true, yeah. Well, then, but you add on to the layer of who her parents are, which is not her fault, and so it's like there's a status, there's a shadow that comes with that, like where it's like you got to have superhero level confidence to walk up to that young woman and ask her on a date.
Yeah, and some people will take the shot. I mean, app culture, like, you know, typically, because everything you just said, like, just dissecting it, right? It seems like it's less direct, I guess, when you look at it through those lenses. You want to go get a drink, but it's like
Right.
a drink disguised as a date, because
Yeah.
you hope date things happen after the drink, or you hope date level things happen after the movie, the dinner, the trip to putt golf, or wherever the hell people
Yeah.
are going these days. But yeah, like, I don't know, it's a little old fashioned. I guess maybe we need to bring some of that stuff back.
It's also different. Like people, like you're not driving to Willow Smith's house and picking her up in your car. You know what I'm saying? Like those days are a little in the past. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, it's Friday, so you know what it is. We got Photo Shoot Friday coming up in 2 minutes. Ka-chee.
Welcome back. And as Tanner stated, it is Friday. So that means it's time for Photo Shoot Friday. And this is where we rate and debate the best celebrity photo shoot of the week. Now, first up is one of our favorite girlfriends, Tracy Ellis Ross, serving up pride and joy for the fall winter fashion special of Marie Claire UK. Okay. Shining like the sun she is.
I love it. Oh, there we go. Oh, up on the tippy toes.
Okay. I like how her hair usually looks like she just got off a helicopter.
Yeah.
This like, it still looks good though.
She is okay. Listen, I am not some haute couture person, but that's fashion right there. Those dresses, like I'm looking at those. Those are pieces of art that she's wearing. I mean, she's art, so it's art dressed in art, draped in art there in the fancy castles in the UK.
Yeah, like I mean, like she doesn't wear the clothes, but clothes don't wear her. She wears the clothes. You know what I mean? I don't think there's been too many situations where I've seen her out and about in something, taking pictures where like she wasn't like serving it up. So like everybody that follows this is gonna be really tough to beat. What you got?
I wonder how many appearances on Photo Shoot Friday Tracy Ellis Ross has made, because I know she's made several, and we've also had her in Battle of the Bodies. So Tracy, we love you over here at Side Dish.
She's an all-star. And if you really want to treat yourself to something nice, look her up when she was on the Lyricist Lounge show on MTV. That's when I first fell in love with her. Lyricist Lounge. It was, you might be able to find some clips on YouTube.
Yeah, coming on Google in about 25 minutes. Okay, next up. This next one's got us saying, yes, chef. It's the Bear Star Ayoda Berry. She's cooking up high fashion for the November issue of Vogue. Let's take a look. Here we go. Oh.
Hey, girl.
Okay. All right. Now you have. Okay. All right.
She looks like she's supposed to be on Money.
Yeah. She has one of those classic faces.
Yeah. Yeah. And just ultra likable. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, somebody killing it when you look at a picture of them and you think about all the things you like about the time you saw them do stuff. Like, I've seen a few episodes of The Bear. Loved on that. Also loved them when she hosted SNL about a year or two ago. And, like, yeah, I'm a fan.
That first one was that first photo. I mean, all of the photos were gorgeous, but that first photo was like one that where the longer you look at it, the more you're like, oh.
Yeah,
well done, Vogue.
She got that thing. Like,
yeah.
And it's hard to tell if she's disapproving over the fact that you was late picking her up, or she's about to scold her kids for not cleaning the room after she told them for the third time.
That face she makes is normally the face I see when I'm like, a date, right?
Then you gotta flash it up. All right. We're moving on to the next one. Kane Tejada got a new gig. Now, Power Book 2 star Woody McClain is bringing it home on the October cover, Ebony Magazine.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Looks very all-American here. HBCU made, Hollywood paid. FAMU representative. Yo. See, and a lot of people know him as Kane Tejada, man, but I first got hip to bro when he was on the New Edition story on VH1. He played Bobby Brown.
There he is, yeah. I like it. I like the green, doing well. I also like, and I just want you to know, Mr. Tejada, I appreciate you not flexing the abs on us in this photo shoot here in the fall. We're in nice soft season in the fall. It's bulking season, trying to be a big boy for the fall. And so I appreciate him not busting muscles out on us.
Yeah, you gotta let them abs hibernate during this pocket of time we're in right now.
That's right. Well, do we? I mean, well done, sir. So I just want to congratulate him on that photo shoot. Because we got to talk about this next one. Oh, last but not least, it's our favorite, Rose in Harlem, Teyana Taylor. She's Teflar strong in her latest ID magazine photo shoot cover. Oh, well, a little pirate action.
Okay. Yeah. Pirate meets modern day because she had gasoline. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I freaking loved her.
Ew.
Yeah, dude, I loved her in one battle after another.
Okay, those are Teflar boots that we're hearing now. They collabed with Timberland. Don't know if they make them for men, but she definitely is rocking the hell out of them. Oh, they do wear them, make them for men. We're hearing.
That's actually what she wears in the gym. That right there, that was a live photo of her from the gym. Aaron Pierre took that photo, I'm sure.
Yeah, now she could pull this off wearing Tim's in the gym, but all you other dudes, knock it off.
Knock it off.
Yo, when I see people coming to the gym wearing construction Tims and jeans, it's like, yo, you're gonna ruin the bench. Leave.
I can't take people seriously in the gym with jeans. I know you're not working. You're not working in jeans.
Well, they're on break and they're just trying to get it any way they can. But with that being said, we got our work cut out for you, for us. Like, who do you think got it? Y'all let us know in the chat. I mean, Ayo had it, and she still kind of got it for me. But there was more variety in the photos that Tiana Taylor displayed. You know, like which one do you feel most comfortable asking out on a date? In a classic way.
Look, okay. Listen, I got no problems throwing the D word around if I need to throw the T word around. But I will say that I believe last time she made an appearance, I think I gave it to Tiana Taylor. I honestly think me, you, and Claudia might have gave it to Tiana just like a couple weeks ago, I think. And
I think the competition she had going against her was not the best in that particular setting. And nothing against Tiana, but but she was cooking.
I'm gonna give it up for Ayo this week. I feel like Ayo's got the photo shoot Friday. I'm loving that shoot. I feel like yes, chef, medium rare.
As beautiful as I feel Ayo is, I'm gonna run it up for Tiana because of his hymns, and most chicks that wear Timbs can recite Wu-Tang verses randomly. So there you go. All right, so keeping that Friday energy flowing, we got a couple flick picks for you. If you're headed to the theaters tonight, the long-awaited sequel, Black Phone 2, starring Ethan Hawke and Mason Thames, drops today. Take a look at this.
Hell is different than you think. You're dead. Any dead is just a word. It took me a long time to find you. But hell is not flames, it's ice. The devil is here. What do you think happens when you die? It's time to find out.
Well, damn. I would leave after this next break if I had the opportunity to. That looks great.
Yeah, that movie, the first one scared the heck out of me, and I thought that he did die, but I guess not. They got him back for a sequel.
Yeah, I was like, how y'all going to do this? And look at them. They did it.
They listen, if it makes money, they're going to figure out a way to do it. Next up, we got a crime drama. It's called After the Hunt. Features our girl, Ayo Edebiri, who just won Photo Shoot Friday, Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, and a couple more. Here's the trailer.
You tend to choose people because they worship you, not because of any actual merit on their part.
Maggie is brilliant.
Is she? Does she just think you're brilliant? Hank's continued obsession.
We're friends. Always will be.
Talk to Maggie today.
No, she wasn't in class. No call, no show.
I need to speak with you, okay? Hank walked me home. He asked for a nightcap, which, it's fine. He's Hank. Everybody loves Hank.
What are you saying happened?
He crossed the line. It's the right thing to do, isn't it? To tell someone and, given your history.
What does that mean, my history? So are you gonna tell me why this is not true?
Aunt Maggie cheated. I told her I suspected she plagiarized, and then the next day, utter fabrication.
These kids have had everything handed to them in their lives. Insist that the world stop at the first slip of victimization.
It's just amazing to me. A young black woman can get assaulted and all these white people figure out a way to make it about themselves.
You know the truth, and you won't say it, because it'll make you look bad.
So is Julia Roberts going to fight them? Is she like the Shequalizer? Like, what's going to happen?
HK, this is a very smart movie, and I'm probably need to watch that trailer 3 or 4 more times before I understand what's going on.
Fair enough. Well, y'all chat about it in the chat. We're going to figure some things out. I'll definitely be at the movies this weekend. But when we come back in 2 minutes, we got the question of the day. And listen, we're going to need everybody's energy on this one because it's about deal breakers. And I know y'all broke some deals out there. We'll see y'all in 2. Welcome back to Side Dish, and it's time for the question of the day. Now, let us set the table for you, shall we? Now, you can forgive a forgotten birthday, maybe even a text left on read, but what about those silent killers of relationships? You know, those things that chip away at love long before anyone ever steps out. So today we're going to go a little bit deeper than the scandal, because while cheating is the headline, sometimes it's not the real heartbreaker. So, in your opinions, what are some things that could destroy a relationship more than cheating? Some people feel like liking posts on social media is like a deal breaker for them. Like, why you like it? Like she don't even look like me. Why you like that?
She doesn't even look like me. Why you liking that post? I'll tell you what one of my sort of like red flags is. First off, it's weird. I feel like men and women look at cheating differently, because I feel like women, listen, we hear about it all the time, will forgive a man for cheating. And I think part of that is demonstration that other women want this man. And so it makes him feel more attractive or perhaps more special. So she continues to want him. I don't think men put up with cheating. Like for us, it's like, oh, there's no fidelity in the relationship. If she's stepping out, then go out, then be gone. One of my big ones is lying through omission. Like if we're just talking about something and you refuse to say a detail or a person who was at a party, and I would kind of want to know, and you just omit it entirely, or you omit a section of your day. I'm like, hey, what have you been up to today? And I went this, I went here, and I went yada, yada, yada. And somewhere in the middle, you had a whole conversation, or you bumped into your ex-boyfriend and you guys had coffee, and you don't tell me about it. You're like, oh, I didn't think that was important. No, that's a detail I would have thought is important. You're lying by omission.
Well, damn, I'm a whole relationship criminal out here, because like I leave details out all the damn time, because some of that stuff I like you said, I felt like was not important to the overall arching story, and I did not coordinate or align the events that led to the situations that happened. You know, it's a free country, Jack. You know, people gonna show what he show up to.
That's true.
You know,
I mean, that's true. I could be wrong. What is it for you? What are the ones for you?
I mean, deal breakers for me, I mean, the obvious things like the lying, the cheating, because like people could have emotional relationships that are not even physical.
Oh,
but then you got to do the hard work and hold the mirror up to yourself and figure out what you're not providing for that person or where they got to do that. And then that probably turns into a deeper Pandora's box, because maybe you're not providing all the things because you feel like you're not being poured into. So at the end of the day, people, far and large, we're a lot of broke puzzle pieces trying to get put back together. And sometimes we don't want to do the work with each other to work on things, because it's easier to just go out and about and find those pieces filler, those piece fillers somewhere else.
I'm going to go out there to the buffet of life, and I'll get like some trust from this person, some intimacy from this person, fun things in common from this person, hit it from all different places, as opposed to like, I feel like a lot of people aren't capable. And this is kind of what you said, of like taking the hard look at themselves and then just saying the thing out loud, what it is that they need.
And I would imagine, unless I'm just psycho, that most people have like a short itemized list of folks that if their current relationship didn't work out, that they would go holler at. Not necessarily because there's something going on right now, but just like, hey man, I've been doing the work. I've been being patient, and and I ain't bothered nobody. But like, let's just say if I was free to move about the country, I like how this person moves. I like the energy of that person. Like, am I wrong there? Am I the only person out here doing this in their head?
You're certainly not the only, no matter what, you're certainly not the only person. My understanding, and this is just stuff that I've like seen on the internet, and maybe people come for me in the comments, is by the time that a woman breaks up with you, she already knows who's next. That's something that I've heard before. I don't know if that's true with us, with men's. I don't have like a list of who's next, but like if I had to start over, I know it would involve like, all right, well, I got to get my dating profiles together, and maybe I'll get some pics, and then I got to start asking a bunch of girls out on DATEs. I got to say that specifically so they understand what I'm doing. I got a process, not necessarily a roster.
See, and I think also too, because like the different edges of the area of time that sometimes we can operate in, right? Like you are out there dating in the app world. I don't even know what that feels like, supposed to look like. I'm treating that like Amazon Prime if I'm out in the wild again, right? However, I don't know that world. I just know it vicariously through the people I'm around. So I would have to, like, just old school, like, excuse me, man, would you be interested in going to have a nice sarsaparilla with me? Like old school style, because,
Yeah.
like that's where I occupy. So it does make it a little bit difficult. But, in the chat, like, what are y'all deal breakers to where, like, hey, man, there's no coming back from this relationship and we already out? And also, too, real quick, to your point, yes, women break up with you in their mind, their heart, and also in their south mouth way before they actually break up with you. But I feel like guys, we do it too, but we're not as cold. It feels stabby when women bounce, but that's my opinion.
Real stabby. Speaking of stabby, we're going to stab our way into this commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to play everybody's favorite game, Whose Cousin Is It? We'll see you in 2. Lorena. All right, we're back, and it's time for everybody's favorite game.
Whoa. You tend to choose people because they worship you, not because of...
She was playing that game. It's time for everybody's other favorite game.
Live TV. What do you expect, man?
It's going to happen from time to time.
Whose cousin is it?
They let the lion out.
That's right. They got rawr, Julia Roberts' cousin. Okay, here we go. All right, back in 2023, a New York woman went full Mission Impossible, disguising herself as different men to take their CDL exams. That's commercial driver's license. She charged up to $3,000 a pop. She took 9 exams between March and September, passing 8 times for 7 applicants. She committed to the bit. She wore baggy clothes. She had fake facial hair. She wore construction jackets and hats to the DMV. And when she passed the exams, the guys she tested for showed up ready to drive.
But her villain era ended with long acrylic nails being a baddie. It blew her whole cover. She now faces tampering, falsifying public records, and corruption charges as a part of a 51-count indictment, along with 3 CDL applicants and DMV employees who were all in on it. Whoa.
Yo.
Whose cousin is it?
All right.
So I've spent a lot of time on the highways and byways. Like I-20 is a major hub for truck drivers. Usually don't see my female cousins driving said trucks. It usually be men, and if it's not a man, it's a woman who would got that Joe energy from Facts of Life.
I know a little bit about the trucking energy, the trucking industry. I've never seen one of your cousins drive a truck. One of your female cousins drive a truck. I'm sure she's out there. I'm positive she's out there. But also think about it like this: if you had to disguise yourself as 7 different men.
Okay. So that puts my headspace, because I thought about this in the other space, because there's a K-pop group where, like, you say it's a bunch of guys in that group, but maybe it isn't, right? Very interchangeable, very Mr. Potato Head, guess who? Just add an accessory. Now you're a different human being. So are you resting with other? Because, like, I think I want to go that way as well.
In my gut, I feel other. And because I know, listen, process of elimination. I don't think it's going to be your cousin on one way or the other. Could it be my cousin? Absolutely. Could it absolutely be my cousin? But most of my guy cousins I know just get their CDLs.
Okay, well, let's see what it is. As we do it this time, move that van. Come on, other. Come on, other. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, Jamie Millington. With the unisex name, Master of Disguise, she is.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jamie Foxx is going to play her in a movie.
Yo,
Clearly.
Make this movie tonight. Coming up on Tubi. You
The
done
woman who
trucked
was
up,
7
Jamie.
men. And she had the Teddy Riley goatee. Well,
that's
done,
outstanding.
Jamie.
I
All
hate
right,
that
man.
one.
Well,
Dang.
foiled again. Well, shout out to y'all in the chat who got it right, and shout out to most of y'all who got it wrong. Well, damn. I'm going to use that to get into something. I don't know what, but
This is how good of a truck driver she was. She was
willing to take
outstanding.
tests for other people.
Yeah.
Y'all have that same energy, but for something you can't go to jail for, man. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell others we out here, man. And shout out to everybody watching on Fox Soul, all the Soulmates, and everybody watching on Tubi as well, where they have all the episodes archived, like in order.
Really?
You can go back to season 1.
Oh, dang. We got season 1 on Tubi.
Yeah.
We're going to bring up our own show on Tubi Tuesday.
Hell yeah. Have a great, amazing
See you guys
weekend.
later,
We'll see y'all
bye.
next lap, man. What up, Claudia?
Burr, burr, burr.